Israel unleashed a punishing wave of strikes across Iran on Sunday, and Tehran hit back with fresh missile barrages as both sides threatened further devastation in conflict that appears to be intensifying. It was a particularly difficult day in Bat Yam. The toll from the missile strikes in the city has risen to 9. Dozens others are reported injured. These visuals on your screen show emergency crew clearing a rubble as displaced residents wait in local schools, unsure of when they will be able to return home. A resident slammed the Iranian regime, citing how elderly and children have been killed in the enemy attacks. He asked, who are they fighting against? Another resident said they are all in uncertainty, unsure about what will happen next.
They are fighting against elderly people. They are fighting against children. Children were killed here, an 8-year-old girl and a 10-year-old boy. They are fighting against old people. Who are they fighting against? There are still people here who haven't been found yet.
I'm in uncertainty and I don't know what will happen. And this is only the beginning. I'm telling you, this is only the beginning. I don't know what will happen, and it's a real shame that our country planned this operation for the good of all, but here it's total chaos, complete chaos.
Residents were skeptical. They wanted to know where the administration was planning to send them, now that their houses were destroyed.
We're waiting to be called. I don't know where they're going to send us. To a hotel or what? I don't know. We're here, just waiting for this. These are things we used to see on TV, but this time we saw it like this. And you see the missiles coming, and you're scared. My child fell on the ground. It wasn't easy, and it's traumatizing too.
Mr. Youssef Jalali is a journalist from Tehran. He's now joining us live on the broadcast. Mr. Jalali, thank you for joining us at this time, and welcome to WION World is One. President Pezeshkian has urged Iranian people to unite. World leaders are calling for a deal. Is the path to diplomacy something that Iranians are considering right now?
Well, of course, Iranians are now unanimously calling for a harsh revenge, actually. In the past, if you take a look at Iran's policy and Iran's political spectrum, there are two main factions and two main camps. The political, of course, the conservative camp and the reformist camp. These two are highly different. They hold different opinions regarding Iran's foreign policy. The reformist camp calls for ties with the West, closer ties with the West, normalization with the United States and European countries. But when it comes to the hardliners, or known as the conservative camp here in Iran, those hardliners call for the end of all ties with the United States and with the West in general. But now, after what happened after Israel attacked Iran, and then Iran has been responding all along, we see a sort of a unity between these two ends of this political spectrum. So now all are calling for a harsh revenge. Why? Because at the beginning, everybody was believing that Israel does not have any problem with the Iranian people, and that Israel has been only holding grudge against the Iranian government, the Islamic Republic. But after what happened, the civilians have been a collateral damage as a result of those airstrikes targeting some residential buildings, targeting some key military figures, but at the same time leading to some civilian deaths. So this led to the public believing that Israel does not care about the lives of human beings and the lives of civilians residing in some residential areas. So this has created a shift, a gradual shift from trusting Israel all the way to now being like holding disbelief towards Israel. So yes, now the majority, if not all, Iranian public, when it comes to the Iranian public, not the politicians, now believe that the path of diplomacy should end. No talks with the United States as long as Israel, with the help of the United States, are attacking Iran.
Mr. Jalali, a foreign ministry spokesperson says Iran's parliament is working on legislation to pull Tehran out of the Treaty on the Non-Proliferation of Nuclear Weapons, or the NPT. How serious is Iran on abandoning that treaty? And is there any word on the nuclear talks with the United States? I know you mentioned that, but is there any word right now?
Well, of course, that has been a classic line when it comes to the Islamic Republic making that threat. In the past, Iran has repeatedly threatened to walk out of the NPT, or the Non-Proliferation Treaty, which is a global nuclear treaty that prevents nations from developing or proliferating nuclear weapons. But now it seems to be on the table because Israel already attacked Iran. Israel actually crossed the red line of attacking Iran. So Iran now seems to be seriously pursuing this motion to be discussed in Iranian parliament. The Iranian parliament is now predominantly occupied by the hardliners, the conservatives, those who are against the West, against the United States, against any ties with the Western Hemisphere. So these people, these guys are more determined to try to make it pass, or pass it into a law, and that will that of course, if it passes into law, then the Iranian government has to execute it and has to implement it. But of course, it was slated and scheduled to be discussed today. But we have been closely watching and monitoring what is happening inside the Iranian parliament. So far, such a motion has not even been discussed. So perhaps we can take it with a pinch of salt right now, because everybody was waiting. Every journalist has been waiting for today to see how Iranian parliamentarians would react to such a motion. But it was postponed, maybe. Now we have to monitor the situation to see what will happen. But what that would mean, if Iran passes this into a law, it would require the Iranian government to block any access by the IAEA, the UN Atomic Watchdog, to Iranian nuclear facilities. This means that all the UN cameras already installed in different sites, including the Natanz and, of course, the Fordow, these are the beating heart of Iran's nuclear industry, where highly enriched uranium has already been developed. So those UN cameras will be turned off. UN inspectors, IAEA inspectors would be blocked, would be barred from accessing those sites. And this would decrease the transparency. And this would, of course, create concerns on the Western Hemisphere. This would create more hostilities, perhaps, and more perhaps military engagement on the part of the U.S. and the West to try to just pitch in, jump on the wagon, join the Israeli forces and attack Iran to disrupt Iran's nuclear industry and its nuclear program.
Mr. Youssef Jalali is a journalist. Mr. Jalali, we'll have to leave it there. Thank you very much for talking to WION World is One today.